Well, hello, listeners. It's Maria Patrick. Thank you for joining me today on the Wishing You Well podcast. This week, I am bringing headline health news. I'm always on the lookout, as you know, for stories which provide us with information as well as inspiration. This is a wonderful way for us to come together and learn the things that we can do to improve our health so that we can live longer, stronger, healthier, and better lives. I want us all to do something today that our future selves will thank us for. So here are the headlines for our health from this past week. First up, sleep on your left side to boost your brain health. There are major health benefits to sleeping on your left side. Your brain clears out waste while you sleep. Did you happen to know that? This is because of something known as lymphatic clearance. And the great news for all of us is that this small switch in sleep position will not only reduce the risk of neurological conditions, but it can also help us with our circulation. It can help reduce heartburn and acid reflux. It might not be your normal position to sleep on your left side, so I suggest you try my little trick so you could get comfortable in this new position for you. Place a pillow between your legs. This helps you to get your spine into alignment. You'll be able to sleep soundly on your left side and get all of those health benefits. Sweet dreams, everyone. Next up, this is a subject that I covered in part in a recent podcast. The dangers of plastics. Plastics, actually the chemicals found in plastics, have been linked to heart disease. A recent report showed the synthetic chemicals that are found in plastics are in so many of our commonly used items and products. Our food storage containers, our kids' toys, our shampoo, our makeup, our perfume, our tea bags, they're all contributing to inflammation in the coronary arteries. And sadly, it's even more of a problem than just heart disease, as if that isn't bad enough. The chemicals found in plastics can also disrupt, they're known as endocrine disruptors, and they can specifically disrupt estrogen in women and testosterone in men. And low testosterone is a predictor of cardiovascular disease in adult males, and estrogen problems are associated with various health problems for women. The plastics have also been linked to reproductive problems and asthma and childhood obesity and cancer. These chemicals are placing an enormous negative impact on so many aspects of our health and are increasing the risk of so many health problems. They are so common and in so many items that they are called the everywhere chemicals. Think about it. Think about how many times per day you come into contact with plastics in your rain gear, your vinyl flooring, your garden hoses, your kids' toys, your jug of laundry detergent, your furniture, your car, your hairspray, your soap container, your placemats, your tablecloth, your clothes, to name a few. The very same chemicals that are being used to make things more durable and long-lasting that are the things that are causing health problems for us. Cardiovascular disease is already a leading risk of fatalities in adults. So we should do everything we can to lower that risk. And one of the ways is to start clearing out the plastics. How about this one, this headline? The number one thing you can do every morning to improve your health. You've heard about the mental health benefits of making your bed first thing in the morning. We already know how important it is to brush and floss our teeth, and many of us wouldn't dream of starting the day without our morning workout. But it turns out the best thing you can do is also the easiest. Hydrating first thing in the morning. It's one of the healthiest habits, and I believe easiest, that you can start doing today. So many benefits to early morning hydration. You're going to replenish the overnight fluids that you lose. You're going to support your overall health by balancing your blood sugar, and you're going to boost alertness. Now, other things can count. Your herbal tea, your foods, your water-rich foods can help with your morning hydration, but there's no substitute for setting the tone for the rest of the day, incorporating the healthy habit of starting with a large glass or two of water, preferably filtered clean water. You may want to add some lemon in there, lemon juice. The nutritionists and dietitians agree, and health coaches like myself and doctors, that simply drinking a glass or two of water first thing in the morning can make a big difference, because it's going to help kickstart your metabolism, support your digestion, improve your energy and focus, and help rehydrate you, as I said, for those lost fluids on the overnight shift. When you start your day hydrated, you're going to realize, and you make a habit out of that, you're going to realize, if you haven't been doing this, what a big difference it makes. So many people, we're just in the habit of waking up and maybe going straight to coffee or waiting a few hours, particularly if you're practicing intermittent fasting, without taking anything in, and you don't realize how dehydrated you are. I was recently talking to a class of people, a class that I was teaching about brain health, and just a 2% reduction in hydration can significantly impact not only your focus and your memory, but your cognition. So let's not get out of touch with our thirst signals. You might not wake up feeling thirsty, but just think of it that as you're sleeping, you're losing water, not only from breathing, but also sweating. And it's important to replenish those lost fluids first thing in the morning. You might also be making up for the water that you didn't drink yesterday. That's one of the first things that your body is going to realize, that you are maybe dehydrated from the day before. So if you wake up not feeling well, it could very well be lack of hydration. So give yourself a chance to feel more alert and focused and energized by starting with water before you get to your coffee, your morning coffee. Next up, straight from the health headlines, let's boost the number of omega-3s we're getting in each day. One of the easiest ways to do this was recently reported in a newspaper magazine, was by adding sardines and anchovies to your day every day, and making it as simple as adding them to your salad. There are so many health benefits to eating small fish. It's because, despite their small size, they are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which are great for heart health, brain health, bone health, and, very importantly, help your body to reduce its overall inflammation. They're high in protein, they're low in everything that's bad for you, and it's a wonderful way for you to get in those sometimes hard to get in omega-3 fatty acids. Your brain, your body, your heart will all thank you. Okay, another headline for our wonderful health. Eat more barley to balance your blood sugar. We're all trying to avoid the terrible feeling of having blood sugar spikes and crashes. And one of the best ways to do that is to eat more whole grains. And we want to stock up on whole grains that are packed with soluble fiber. Soluble fiber digests more slowly, which is wonderful if you are trying to manage your blood glucose levels throughout the day. And barley is an excellent choice here of a whole grain. And in a world of rising grocery prices, barley is something that is still quite affordable, and it's a nice alternative to rice or quinoa, and it's very high in antioxidants. It's a wonderful way to lower the inflammation in your body. It's a wonderful way to keep you satiated for hours on end, balance that blood sugar, and it's an easy and inexpensive item to keep in your pantry. Okay, next health headline. Speaking of your pantry, this week in the news, we heard about the importance of getting into our pantries and decluttering, getting rid of certain things. Some of them are obvious, a few are not. And you might find out from what I'm about to say, you, like me, may have been storing things in your pantry that should really be in your fridge. So let's dive into this. Number one up, is expired foods. This is in the easiest category of ingredients to get rid of because it's pretty much a given, right? If something is way past its date, its sell by or eat by date, you know that it's no longer going to be fresh. It may not be safe to eat. It may be starting to deteriorate in texture and certainly in nutrients. And there's a lot of things to deep dive into that pantry of yours and see, because you may have crackers back there, you may have breadcrumbs, you may have baking mixes. We'll talk a little bit more about baking mixes in a bit. You want to get rid of anything. Cans, especially important. Those expiration dates are sometimes hard to read on the products, particularly on cans. One hack that I learned from the other volunteers at the food pantry where I volunteered for many, many years is to get out your Sharpie, and as things come into your house, use your black Sharpie to write the expiration dates in large numbers and letters on the top of an item or the side of an item so that you can easily read it and get into the habit of regularly getting in there into your pantry and getting rid of the expired things. And oh, please don't then donate them to the food pantry. We got so much expired food that we would have to just throw out. What a waste. So, stale foods kind of goes with the same territory there as expired foods. There's lots of videos that have gone viral of young people going into their parents' spice cabinet to see how old the spices were and finding things that dated back to when their parents were first married and way before the kids themselves were born. Ground spices do have a longer shelf life than other things. They could probably last for 2, 3, or 4 years, but they start to lose their potency and their flavor after a very short period of time, after just 6 or so months. So anything that's older than 2 or 3 years, that is the same as stale cereal or snacks, your crackers, your chips. Get rid of those dusty, stale, past their expiration date, use by date spices. I said I would talk more about baking ingredients. I think it's wonderful to keep a pantry that's stocked with flour and sugar and baking mixes and oats and other grains, but you have to be really careful because not only will they not stay fresh as long if you keep them in their original bag and you don't have them sealed up, but you run the risk of getting infestations of bugs getting in there, flour mites and such. So do what I do, transfer everything out of the in-store packaging to glass containers. My glass containers are all labeled and on the shelf for me to easily see. And not only does everything stay fresh and insect free, but also I can see exactly how much I have of something, and it makes putting the grocery list together a lot easier. So don't store things that can attract ants and other bugs because they're not properly sealed, and we want to keep things nice and fresh. So seal them up, label them, and keep an eye on them. Oh, and keep this in mind. If you're somebody who likes to bake cookies and cakes and you reach for the ubiquitous baking soda and baking powders, those things are really important. It's the chemistry behind baking. But they lose their effectiveness after 6 months to a year. So if you have baking soda and baking powder that you can't remember how long ago you bought them, it's time for them to go also. And the same goes for the active dry yeast and instant yeast that you keep in order to make bread. The longer you keep them, the more their effectiveness drops. We don't check our cooking oils as often as we should, and they tend to go rancid. And you don't want to be putting rancid oils inside your body, and you also don't want to dispose of rancid oils by pouring them down your drain and clogging up your pipes. So keep an eye on your cooking oils. Don't buy them in very large quantities if you don't think you're going to go through them that quickly. It's more expensive, of course, to buy them in smaller sizes, but fresher is always better. So keep an eye on your cooking oils. Now, here's one that if you don't already know, it probably shouldn't be kept in your pantry, but in your fridge or your freezer, and that would be nuts and seeds. They actually go more rancid faster than we think. They have a high fat content, healthy fat. Yes, we've talked about the health benefits of nuts and seeds in many a podcast of mine, but that high fat content makes them go rancid faster. So take a test, either a small bite or do the sniff test, and if anything has a bad smell or taste, get rid of them. Prolong their freshness by keeping them, also take them out of the plastic bags, put them in, I use those canning jars. I have a large canning jar for every different kind of nut and seed that I have, and keep them in the fridge and or the freezer. We mentioned cans earlier, and cans are not only something that we need to keep an eye on the expiration date, but we also want to make sure that we don't keep dented cans amongst our pantry items. You want to discard them. Be careful at point of sale when you buy them, but if they become dented for any reason, those sharp points and edges are not only dangerous to your touch, but they can also allow bacteria to enter into the can. So no matter how small or large that dent is, please get rid of those cans. Dried beans. This is a really affordable way to cook something so healthy for yourself and the people that you love. But we think that those dried bags of beans, whether it's split peas or lentils, chickpeas, cannellinis, we think they're going to last forever and ever, but they don't. They start to lose their nutritional value and the vitamins that they contain, and then they'll end up taking longer to cook. So once again, you know what I'm going to say, transfer them out of those plastic bags, get them into glass containers. Wait till you see how beautiful your pantry is going to look with all these easy to read, easy to find, easy to use glass containers lined up on your shelf and with expiration dates and names on them. What a wonderful way to make sure that you are using things before they pass their peak freshness. Maple syrup. I have mine in my pantry as we speak, even though it's open. I have never known that that's something that, like other condiments, should be kept in the refrigerator. They go rancid and moldy when they're kept at room temperature. I know that it's easier to pour them when they're at room temperature versus when they're cold out of the fridge, but that's something that, in order to ensure that you're using the freshest item, honey will last forever. There's been recent stories in the news about crystallized honey that goes back hundreds of years, but maple syrup, not the same category. So these are some really wonderful tips. It's time to kind of let things go from the pantry. And so we are therefore making sure that we are doing the best that we can when we buy these foods, spending our hard-earned money on these foods for our health. Make sure that we're eating them at peak level of nutrition and freshness. So there it is, my friends, the things that we can do today that will improve our health and add years to your life and life to your years. You're going to want to get a pillow and turn onto your left side when you sleep. Clean out all the junk from your pantry. Move certain items out of the pantry and into the fridge. Transfer everything over into glass and get out some labels. Take note of all of the items and products in your home that are stored in plastics. Start to slowly sift through and reduce this. And don't forget to add barley and anchovies and sardines to your grocery shopping list. Oh, and last, but certainly not least, put a pitcher of water and a lovely glass on your bedside table so you can start getting in that early morning hydration. Consider it the gift that you're going to give yourself every morning. You can even make a toast with that glass of water to a healthy new day in your beautiful life. Tomorrow morning, I will be raising my glass to you, my podcast listeners, with my endless gratitude and love. Stay tuned for more health headlines coming your way. Until then, I am, as always, wishing you well.